Hello, my name is Eric and this is Breezy Bee Metal. And in the last video we went over installing a 1/4" punch for your MetalPro MP 4500. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a 7/16 punch, and I'm going to show you guys how to take the old one out, put the new one in. Anyway, I ordered 2 punches. I ordered a 1/4" and a 7/16, and it came packed like this. They come in this styrofoam, and they have this like a plastic dip that's in to keep it sharp, and there's like an oil residue that they put on them. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take out the 1/4" punch, and we're going to put the other one in. Let's do it. But when I placed the order for those, they came the next day. How cool is that? And that's not paying for any expedited shipping. That's just, they ship fast. So the first thing that we're going to do, Ethan, can you come over? We're going to take one of these strippers off. We're going to take the outer stripper. So there's a set of bolts that are up underneath here. All you do is loosen up the outer one and slide off the outer stripper. So at that point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take your die base. There's probably different ways of doing this. I have a procedure that I do. I'm comfortable with it. It just makes it easy once you remove the die base. It's like everything's out, and it just makes it easier. So this is your die base. That's held in by 2 bolts. Okay, die base comes out. And on this machine, and with the punch station, the max that you can do with this machine is 3/8 max. So there's a set screw in the back. It's an Allen. And what I do is I have a ball peen hammer handle. I give it a couple taps, comes right out. Okay, set that over there. So at this point, we have to remove, this is the wrench that comes with it. There's a punch nut. We have to remove the punch nut. Just loosen it. Okay, you slide it out, take the punch nut off. Okay, so this is the 1/4". We're going to go grab our 7/16. Okay, so we're going to remove that plastic coating, and that's off. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's look at the punch and die. So on your punch, it's stamped on there MetalPro, and then it's got the 7/16. And if you notice on the bottom, you have that center finder. It's that sharp point. That's how you know where to put your holes exactly where you want them. You need it. Then you have your die, and on the die it's stamped MetalPro. It's a star, but it says D. I'm assuming that means for die, and then it says 15/30 seconds. So you can't have the same size die. It has to be a little bit bigger. So if you notice when we put this in here, there's a little bit of clearance, and that allows, so when it's punching that slug out, then it'll drop it out the bottom. So what we're going to do is, the first thing is I put the die in the base. Now if you see there's two flats on here, I'm assuming that one of the flats goes to the back for your set screw. So let me get a rubber mallet. When they come brand new, everything's tight. Okay, so when I put it in, I put one of those flats to the back. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take that Allen wrench and we're just going to snug it down. Set it in there. Now we're going to put our punch in. So the punches come with a C-clip. So, and it comes already installed. I think I had bought one before that it didn't have it, and I think I ought to put the C-clip on. But once they go in there, they stay in place. But this helps align it in there so it seats properly. So we're going to put the punch nut. It's going to slide on there. We're going to put it up in there, and then you're going to push up on the punch. Let's move this to the other side. You're going to push it up, and you'll feel it when it seats. And we're going to hand tighten it. So notice our ram is in the most upward position. Now, I'm not going to snug this down yet. What we're going to do is we're going to put our die base in place. Remember, the set screw goes to the rear of the machine. I'm going to take your 2 bolts. I'm going to put this in. And we're just going to run them down, but we're not going to tighten it. We want this to move around. So what I'm going to do is, see, I can move this up. So I'm going to start coming down with the machine. I want it to come down just below the stripper, and then I'm going to lift this base up because I don't want the punch clipping the die. So I brought the punch lower than your stripper. Now I can lift this base up. See that? So it went in there. So now I'm going to bring the ram down. I'm going to lift up so it's in there, and I'm going to come down. Okay, so I'm going to line this up where I think it looks like it's straight. Looks good. And I'm just going to tighten these. So I eyeballed it where it looks like it's straight in there. Okay, now I still have to tighten down the punch, but that punch, remember, since it's not tightened down, it's still wobbling around. So what you do is, here's the wrench that comes with your machine. I have a adjustable wrench, and I'm going to kind of hold it while I give this a snug. And you can use that adjustable wrench to turn it where it orientates it a little bit better. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, but what I want to do is, it looks like I need to move my base a little bit. Yep. There it goes. I think that looks good. I kind of made sure that there's a little bit of clearance all the way around it. So let's go over to the bench. Okay, so this is just a scrap piece of, this looks like it's 3/16. So remember, when you're using the punches, you can't punch anything thicker than the size of your punch. So since we're working with 7/16, we can't punch anything bigger than 7/16. So if this is 3/16 material, we're totally fine. I made a couple reference marks on there. We're going to take a center punch and we're going to make some divots in here. Okay, so I have 5 spots that I marked. Let's go over and punch them. I'm going to bring the ram all the way up. Before I punch anything, I'm going to use a little punch oil. Not a lot, just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so that center finder, that little point underneath there, it's going to find that little divot that I just hit. Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Got to put our stripper back on. Okay, here it goes. You'll notice that center finder, it'll find that little divot. See? It found it. Sometimes when I'm punching, it kind of makes like a big pop noise. When it does that, you should just add a little more oil. See how nice and quiet it is? Hardly makes any sound at all. See, it found it. It's kind of hot to the touch. See where the center finder pushes it in, and then the bottom's a little bit rounded on it. There it goes. Okay, let's go over and we're going to put a carriage bolt in there. So the square punches, I mean, you could use them for different things, but I think the main reason would be if you want to use a carriage bolt with it. So I know certain applications it's better to use a carriage bolt. A lot of times you can't get to the other side to put a wrench on. So if you put the carriage bolt in there, all you have to do is worry about the one side. So remember, this is our original hole that was there. So I punched 5 7/16 square. Here's an old carriage bolt, and see how it doesn't seat all the way down. This has got a coating on it. So once you snug this down with your nut, it'll suck it in and it'll seat it. So, but handy. How handy is that, right? There's sometimes where I had carriage bolts and I wish I had the square punch and I didn't. I had an excess. I had a big bag of them and I could have used them. Or sometimes, you know, vice versa. I had, you know, if I had the regular bolts, you know, so all you do is switch out your punches on your machine. And as you've seen, it only takes a couple minutes to set it up. But once you set it up, you're good to go. You can just keep punching them out and punching them out. So that concludes this video on the 7/16 square punch from MetalPro. And thank you very much. Again, my name is Eric. This is Breezy B Metal. And any questions, feel free to ask away. And remember, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.